Moments for everyone to trickle in. We're going to be doing water signs today. So what's coming in for all of the water signs: Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. We're going to start off with Pisces per usual, and then we'll go down to Scorpio and Cancer energy. Now you could have Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio anywhere in your birth chart. Oh, and we have the King of Wands that just fell out. All right, so I'm going to wait a few moments for everyone to trickle in. We're going to start pulling some cards for Pisces. We do have the King of Wands. I was just thinking of Makari. Hi, Makari. Hello. Hey, hi, pause, record. Hi, Makari. If anyone can write down in the comments, I'll also give you a free mini reading. That we're going to be doing mini readings for $10, and to Cash App goddessenergy444. It is in the title as well. But if anyone can write that, they'll be getting a free mini reading as well. So for $10, we're doing mini readings at the end of each of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio readings. And you could send to Cash App goddessenergy444. I have Pisces rising, Cancer moon, or Pisces sun rather, Cancer moon, Scorpio rising. You sound like my mother. My mother is also all three of the water signs in her top three, where I'm like, whoa, I don't even have all that. Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to wait a few moments for everyone to trickle in. Thank you, Makari. We're going to be starting off with you after the Pisces message for a mini reading. Pisces here. Hello, Lauren. How are you? I know there's at least 2 people who emailed me already by the name of Lauren too, so that's like the name of today. There's a lot. I'm attracting a lot of Laurens today. We're going to wait just a few moments for everyone to trickle in. Thank you so much for writing in the comment. Hello to all the moderators. I haven't been live in a while. If you ever don't see me live, I probably am just spending a lot of time with my little one. I've had people, or renovation, where we were renovating this room in December. This room used to not look like this. But then it started into the whole house. And so I'm still doing this entire house. And then with my son, I've had some clients say, hey, it's okay if you bring your son to the session. My son is very hyperactive. There's not going to be a session. He's going to turn into the leader of your session. Okay, so I tried to go live when he's not here. And I usually am not live if he's here. Hello, auspicious human. I love your name. Auspicious human. All right, so we're going to wait. There we go. Actually, as soon as I say that, the number comes up that was in my mind's eye. So we're going to wait till now to start the Pisces reading. Feel free to grab your water, your coffee, your tea. Coffee is still my vice. If I have a vice, it is coffee. Pause, play, record. Mine is a Leo, so he's extra too. Mine is an Aries sun and a Leo rising. I believe Leo Mercury too. A Libra moon. Yeah, he's a lot of fire. A lot of Aries in that chart. Oh, you're driving. I love that. Hello, ocean lover. Ooh, that's fire. Yeah, my son has an Aries sun, Libra moon, a Leo rising, and he's an Aries stellium. Not too much Pisces, actually. I'm the Pisces mama, but a Neptune Venus in the 8th house in Pisces. So he's deep and he has that soft side, that deep side that's hidden. All right, now we'll start off with the Pisces today. We're going to be doing Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. We're going to be doing readings of just what's coming in, and then we're also going to be doing mini readings. If you would like a mini reading during this live, feel free to send to the Cash App. It's in the title of this video. It's also pinned in the comments below. $10 to that Cash App, or it is the same thing on PayPal as well. So you can also do that for a mini reading. Ooh, with hazelnut creamer. I'm using coconut creamer. I have 2 daughters, one Pisces, one Leo. Ooh, I have just one little one, but he's an Aries. A lot of Aries in that chart too. I am so tired of being a Pisces. You know, before we start this Pisces reading, I'm calling all of you Pisces right now, or whoever has Pisces anywhere in their birth chart, which we all do. I'm a Pisces stellium, so I have 4 Pisces placements, and then I'm a 12th house stellium in a separate sign, but still 12th house Pisces. Saturn and Pisces, it felt like, and I'm just saying it for me, please put it in the comments below if you have also experienced the same with Saturn and Pisces. Again, I have a lot of Pisces in my birth chart. Many years ago, I was told this is my last lifetime as a Pisces. I do have South Node in Pisces, so past life, you know, South Node. Did anyone else, as Saturn and Pisces close out, it felt like a collective closing out of Piscean energy. Like Pisces as a collective, it feels like learned certain lessons, cleared things out completely with Saturn and Pisces. And as Saturn shifted into Aries, there's certain energies, even with Pisces, that it feels like it's cleared completely, like from a soul level for all of us. You know, when it comes to like the personality test of like INFJ, things like that, mine changed after Saturn and Pisces, where I was, I believe it was an INFJ my entire life, and then it shifted a little bit after Saturn went into Aries. Then it started to come out differently, the test. You know, so I don't know if any other Pisces resonate with that, but there's been a big shift with Pisces energy in the world, it almost feels like. And many of the shadow energies of the Pisces. So wild. We are like over it. Yes. Elman, not you tired of being Pisces. Why do you say that? I'm not tired of being a Pisces. I'm not saying that. Rakari, I'm not saying that. All right, Inner World Design. I'm going to write down your name. We have a mini reading over here for Inner World Design. Ooh, I like that. And I like that, Ray Ray. I like your, I don't know if it's like your name or nickname, but I like that, Ray Ray. All right, and feel free to put your question in the comments below too, and I'll write it down next to your name. And then Makari, after the Pisces reading, we're also going to be doing your mini reading as well. So let's jump into this Pisces reading now that everyone's here. Ooh, 11th house of like social groups, things like that. I felt it for sure, but I have Saturn in Taurus. Oh, so your Saturn, that Saturn return's coming the next round. And the 12th house, but Aries rules my 12. Yeah, where I'm similar that Libra and Scorpio are both in my first house. It's like, it gets kind of tricky where in the exact placements, you have multiple signs in the same house. Good morning, Corey Gamble. Tired of the short end of the stick. Hi, Marlon Smith. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you through every time, space, and dimension. Saturn whooped my behind. Oh, I love that. To make me realize I am the Saturn. Listen, Linda, listen. That Saturn in Pisces, I became besties with Saturn. It's like, oh, you're not as... 777, there you go. See, Saturn's my bestie. 777 spam call as I say that, where I'm like, oh, Saturn's not as bad. If you spend a little bit more time with Saturn, it's not as bad as we all thought that Saturn was. It was harsh, though, definitely, especially for Pisces placements. All right, let's jump into the Pisces. Speaking so much of Pisces, feel free to put it in the comments below. Where is it that you have Pisces placements? My Pisces is in the 5th house. So the house of love and romance and creativity and song and dance. I've been seeing 777. Yeah, I got to call at that exact moment. All right, we'll take this, but let us clear the energy. Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God. For all Pisces placements today, you could have Pisces watching me anywhere in your birth chart. And if you would like a mini personal reading right after this Pisces reading, feel free to Cash App $10 to goddessenergy444. All right, what do we have for Pisces today? What is coming in for Pisces? What do Pisces need to hear the most? Whatever it is that you're praying for or focusing on, focus your mind, your mental energy on that. We do have Diana, focused intention. Think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. And then we have Charity, prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask, and you shall receive. Pisces, and it's 10:44 on the clock as I look at the clock. So Pisces, right now you need to hear that your prayer in your mind is very powerful. Whenever you're coming across this reading, yeah, focusing all of your mental energy on whatever it is that you actually want to focus on. So far, Spirit's saying here, Pisces, if say you're focusing on a goal, a project, say you're focusing on your career, your advancement, success, whatever it may be for you, don't focus on the drama, right? Don't focus on the negativity, the this, the that. Check your mind, and I forgot the exact term and word for that, but minding your thoughts for some of you is what you might be practicing of fixing your mind as the thought comes in, like training your mind to maybe just focus on those things, right? I see you just having to control your mind here because things can really manifest. For Pisces, why is Pisces focusing all of their intentions into prayer and contemplation? For Pisces, why do we have focused intention and prayer? Why do we have focused intention and prayer? You have to look at, as I was going to say, the eye of the storm. And inner world design, feel free to write down your question in the comments below, and I'll write it down to save it for you. Good morning, Robin. How are you? Sun trying, but negative people are overwhelming. Yes, where it was a high priest that told me this once, and he said, even me as a high priest, which he was a Babalao, and he said, when you are surrounded, it doesn't, not that it doesn't matter who you are, but it's a reminder that you're human too, that yes, everybody's like protected and things like that, but if you're just surrounded constantly by certain energy, right? And what I see here is storm warning and the angel of strength. It's interesting that I was saying to be the eye of the storm as this comes out. There's something about focusing all of your mind and mental energy on something, but there's a storm that's distracting you. Now remember, you could have Pisces anywhere in your birth chart. The strength card in the tarot represents like taming the beast, right? Going within. No, you're not, don't have to be sorry for being negative. It feels like, at least from what you said, you're more absorbing whatever, that negative energy is, and then just simply sharing with us what's going on. All things are beautiful. I think of Nephthys or Nebhetet from ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, but she represents decay, where people would like leave her like decaying, nasty food, things like that. But in the garden, because she'll take anything. Everything actually can give life. A rotting banana can give life to the soil, but we may not eat a rotting banana, where everything is beautiful. Yes, exactly. All right, so what do we have for Pisces here? For Pisces, why do we have focused intention, prayer, storm warning, angel of strength? Pisces, because and you see the truth, and the chaos is not true. But here's the thing, right? Where something can be happening in your reality physically, right? And it's not to say that that's not true, that it's not happening. That's not my truth. You know, like say somebody, like we're speaking like jazz, right? Where say somebody comes to you with all this energy, you know, of like a storm. It's not to say it's not real. It's happening to you. It's happening. You don't identify with it. It's not your truth. You know, where I'm like, oh, you know, that's what I see in this reading, Pisces. Pisces, there is a storm that's present. You know that that is not the highest truth. And you know that. Third eye over here, sixth chakra, third eye. I almost said sixth chakra. But yeah, or rather, whatever. Sixth eye. Third eye, sixth chakra here. Okay, you know. This is your vision, Pisces. Your vision is true. Ma'at, divine order, the truth. What you are seeing, Pisces, is true. So if there is any storm in your life from a person, from chaos, from whatever, Pisces, you know that that's not of your highest truth. And what I see is you praying for the storm to be cleared, Pisces. We're going to grab this card here. For Pisces, why do we have focused intention, prayer, storm warning, angel of strength? Why do we have third chakra, angel of balance? You have the wisdom to know better, positive expectations, where, like, think of how many people in this world, right? Excuse me, that we are taught to think in duality. So if you asked me maybe 10 years ago, like say I get a flat tire on the way, I don't know, to someone, right? If you asked me 10 years ago, I would say, oh, no, like I'm not going there. It's wisdom to see through the storm. There's something about you trusting your intuition, the power of God. There we go. The power of the divine. Whatever storm is in your life, Pisces, the power of God is going to clear that storm for you, and you will be the eye of the storm. There's definitely chaos present here, Pisces, but don't trust these two eyes. Trust this eye. It says clarity, positive expectations here, Pisces. All right, let's get to the tarot to see what this is. For Pisces, I'm going to get to these. I want to see. Let's see. All in my 11th house. Inner world design. After this Pisces reading, we're getting to Makari, inner world design. I'm going to write down Makari's so we don't lose it. What am I in for? Oh, relationships. Let's see. Relationships, intimate. Let's see what's coming in. Relationships are a huge part of my transformation, but I want to get rid of third-party infiltration. Yes. Tell the universe I say no to third parties in every time, space, and dimension. I don't have time for that storm. Sorry. Makari and I are spiritual besties. Blessings, Gloria. I also get one from Gloria, so I'll be looking out for Gloria's question for after this reading and Ray Ray's question. All right, let's get to the tarot, Pisces. Excuse me as, I don't even know, I always have allergies, but the weather. Who else lives in the Northeast? 80 degrees. Are they clicking the buttons again? I've never seen it where it's 80 degrees, especially like in May. 80 degrees and then 40, and then 80 and 40. I think they're clicking buttons back there. Like, you know how in the Hunger Games, that's more of what I'm referring to. Of just like, the weather is not making sense. I don't know. At least over here in the Northeast, it's making absolutely no sense. That's why sometimes you've been seeing me in the tank tops and then a sweater. And just I don't know what season it is right now in the Northeast. Okay, for Pisces, the power of God is going to get you through a storm. Trust in God, in your higher self, in your third eye, more than what you see in this reading, Pisces. For Pisces, and then we have Daniel, Danny. Feel free to put your question in the comments below too. What do we have for Pisces today? Why do we have focused intention, prayer, and the power of God? For Pisces, why do we have focused intention, prayer, and the power of God? For Pisces, why do we have focused intention, prayer, and the power of God? What is the final outcome here for the Six of Swords and the King of Pentacles for the power of God, focused intention, prayer? And why? Ooh, okay, spiritual bestie. Yes, spiritual bestie. There you go, right on time. Just said it in the comment. Spiritual bestie, we are the power lights of the city. Oh, I love that. One of the songs for the tribe. I love that. All right. Where? Pisces. I kind of want to get to the end of the reading before we start at the beginning. I just want to tell you, Pisces, it works out for you. You better trust God, trust in miracles, trust in your higher self beyond anything going on right now. There is a storm warning, but this is why the cards were coming out of just focus your mental energy. Focus your mental energy on the truth, on whatever it is that you're praying for, intending for. Pisces, you're about to receive a miracle of a 10 of Pentacles. So spiritual bestie, we skipped all the way to the end because the end was just too good. But let's see the beginning here, Pisces. So it's interesting that the Six of Swords does represent a calm after the storm. For Pisces, why do we have storm warning, the power of God, focused intention, and prayer for the Six of Swords? It's going to work out, Pisces. And what this reading is saying is whatever, say, chaos or storm, past, present, or future has been in your life, this is the type of situation, Pisces, where there is no outward proof. There is no proof of it's going to work out for you. And then it does. And that's just what you really need to know in this reading. For Pisces, why do we have the power of God, storm warning, focused intention? For this King of Pentacles here, why do we have the power of God, storm warning, focused intention, and prayer? Emotional intelligence and security. So we also have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn here, Pisces, but confirmation, minding your mind. Nine of Swords, it says anxiety. Now for some of you, it could be things financially. You do have a wish fulfillment of a 10 of Pentacles out of nowhere coming in for you. And it's a big wish fulfillment, but it comes in the midst of like nothing or in the midst of a storm. And so for some of you, I mean, it goes as deep as what you attract, right? And so minding your mind, your thoughts, nervous system, right? Feeling safe within like security, because it is going to work out. But mind your mind, do the best to mind your nervous system. You know, where, like I'm thinking of how an animal shakes. It's for good reason. Like that's how our bodies operate, right? And so in the midst of something big, like a storm, you're going to feel that, Pisces. But you know, like the term, your body is lying to you. You know where our bodies are our compasses and meant to tell us the truth. There's almost a part of me that wants to say in this reading, your nervous system is going to be triggered. And I'm just seeing like the tapping. Whatever you got to do, Pisces, because there's something here that is triggering. There's a storm in your life. It works out completely to the point that you would actually feel silly of crying or even worrying. You know, oh, you just passed a store called Blue Rose. Where was that? That's cool. Ghetto Cowboy. I like your name. Hello. Yes, Jazz, the tapping. Where I'm not like, this is like it's a trigger to the nervous system. There is definitely a big storm, Pisces, in your life, past, present, or future here. But it completely works out that, you know, think of it all works out. How would you respond differently if you knew in the beginning it was all going to work out? And then just start responding in that way, Pisces, is what this reading is saying, you know. And again, like there's something big anybody would have fear or anxiety or this or that. Just the tapping is what I'm seeing, Pisces. And feeling safe and secure within yourself. You feeling safe and secure within yourself is going to attract what it is that you get into, like the... Now, I'm not saying don't get into fight or flight. It's also our body's natural response, right? That our body knows of like, oh, okay, survival. Let's respond accordingly. But in this like survival response, Pisces, don't drop into the root of fear, because it does work out. You know, and just so do what you can to feel secure. Whatever coping methods you got, because it really does work out. And that's why it says focused intention and prayer. Okay, Pisces. So what's the advice here for Pisces? Oh, the Tower card. For Pisces, why do we have storm warning, the power of God, focused intention and prayer for the Tower card? Pisces, everything works out. Like a storm, it does work out, Pisces. Where we have the Tower card here and the Knight of Cups. So this Tower card is bringing in some sort of wealth. It says independent wealth here. Everything works out for you, truly. And it's interesting that we do have security, that it says on this King of Pentacles. And we have security by the end of this too. You know, where, yeah, Pisces, what this reading is just saying is there's a trigger coming into your life, a storm. It works out completely. And so, you know, just think of times in your life when there's big triggers, right? Like your bank account, like a random charge, right? Your car, your this, your that. How would you react if you knew the end of the story already? You know, and that's like what this reading is saying. Hey, Pisces, the end of the story is actually really good. And no matter what the mess looks like here, it all works out for you. All right, so that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. I'm reading these cards here. I'm in country, not sure town. Okay, awesome. Lauren. I'm an artist, graphic designer. That's beautiful. Career. That's awesome. The Raven Festival community. I used to be a raver. Or, yeah, raver. Festival going girl, gypsy. I haven't been to one in many, many years. But I used to travel just all... Before I had my... I was not a Pisces that was meant to be a gypsy. Before I had my son, I was all over the place. You could not find me. My own mother couldn't have found me. That's beautiful. So we have that here. I'm just over saying I want to create, and then I say because I am the creator of my reality. Not gonna lie, I've been feeling my gut telling me something. It could be that, yeah. Yeah, Danny, feel free to write your question in the comments below as well. Gloria and Danny, and I'll write the questions down so I have them here. Exactly, yes, rave. I love that. We are all supporting your soul purpose. All right. There goes the cards. We're going to do Makari. So Pisces, that's what I have for you. It all works out beyond what it is that you see. So trust what you don't see at this time. Use your third eye, not your two eyes. Yes, I love how you wrote that, Robin. Don't react, process, and then respond. All right, for Makari. Relationships. Let's get those cards out here. Let's do the mini readings. Right after this, we're going to be going into Scorpio placements. You could have Scorpio anywhere in your birth chart. We are going to be doing Lauren's reading, Makari's reading, and then I'm just waiting on Gloria and Danny's questions. All right, Divine Mother and Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God. For Makari today. For our soul brother Makari. What is coming in for Makari the Pisces? What is coming in for Makari for intimate relationships? What is coming in for intimate relationships? Oh, this card, Makari, this card came out, and I mean, you do write music, so inspired by you. Listening to music, emotional bond, song lyrics. Makari, do you have a muse, or either you're musing maybe over someone or someone's actually musing over you, Makari? But I also just know that you are an artist, so your ears ringing hard. The way that this card fell out. Something about, did you write a song about someone? Makari, there's something about like songwriting here. But I know that you do, so maybe it's you. All right, so Makari, we're going to get into your mini reading. These mini readings are going to be just about like a few oracle cards and then a 3-card spread. So for your intimate relationships, Makari, you are someone, or not even you are someone. Spirit has wanted you to own your truth so hard to the point that people are released from your life. So even if, and what it feels like too is it helps to release your mask. You know, sometimes people will mask of like, well, everything's okay, and it's not okay. It almost feels like Spirit also didn't want you to mask. We have silence, frozen, no words, stone wall, mask, pretending, not genuine, two-face, and then truth, intentions, honesty. And so, you know, it feels like in the past you would attract a lot of that. And it felt like though almost in a way for you to not tolerate it. You to not tolerate it within yourself, you to not tolerate it from other people. And it almost felt like it was also showing the boundaries of, well, what kind of, I'm getting like dark feminine, masculine energy. What kind of boundaries do I need to have to not attract these type of people? Now, I will say there's somebody who's going to hunt you down in the future. We have pursuit, chasing, hunting down, resilient. All right, for Makari the Pisces, for intimate relationships. For intimate relationships for Makari, why do we have silence, not genuine, truth? Why the 7 of Cups for silent, not genuine, truth, and chasing? And then why the 7 of Cups and the 4 of Cups for Makari for intimate relationships? Why the 7 of Cups and the 4 of Cups? What is the outcome here for intimate relationships? You come out completely healed. And then independent. Now, I want to know, why do we have muse here? Listening to music, song lyrics. Why muse here for Makari and intimate relationships? Why muse? For Makari, why do we have song lyrics, listening to music, inspired by you for Page of Wands and the 4 of Swords? Do people listen to your music, Makari? Like, do your exes listen to your music? It's kind of what's coming through here, but also, I'm just going to say this as it's coming through channeled, of it feels like like just everything in life can be an inspiration for you too. There's something here about using music to like get everything out, Makari. Where in the past you have dealt with people who, it says emotional intelligence, they couldn't match your energy, maybe your wisdom, right? The healing it is that you've done, Makari. That's what I'm seeing over here. By the end of this reading, you're showing up as the Star card. Pure, peace, hope, faith, trust, new age of Aquarius. And just completely pure with the Star card. It feels like the advice here, when it comes to especially third parties, is you've had to set like very strong boundaries to the point of it being uncomfortable. But it almost felt like the universe wanted you to say no to the point that it almost like kind of hurt kind of thing. But more of, Yeah, you not taking anything any less than what you deserve, but to the point where you choose yourself rather than comfortability or excitement. Why the Seven of Cups here from Makari for intimate relationships, and why the Four of Cups, truth. So there goes the love, right? Long-term relationships. This is a happy life and marriage. And then we do have Seven of Cups and the Ace of Swords over here. Yeah, when they come your way of just and what I see, Makari, is like, and I know, you know, maybe you are someone who's still kind of just to themselves, but even if it's 3 months, a year and a half, say no every time you mean no. And it's going to bring you in a beautiful relationships where even your art is going to change in the future is what I'm seeing in this reading, Makari. Like, say a lot of your music was like, say, you know, like the cosmos, you know. And I'm going to read your comment first. Yeah, I really like that because I used to leak my energy and it would ruin my independence. So I had to create, yeah, where even your art, I see it changing in the future. That, you know, I just see a cycle here of falling, like, say, deeply in love or coming across someone, third parties, and your art would like reflect that. But it also feels like your music, your lyrics, your everything is also going to change in the future. I see you as a totally different person. I see you in a healthy relationship. There's something about your lyrics though here. Why do we have song lyrics? Why the muse? The sun card. I love it. Where your muses are changing almost. And just be mindful about that, you know. But yeah, you know, where art is your thing, music is your thing, lyrics is your thing. And it's interesting here though, there's like a message that as you also clear out these old relationships, even your art shifts and changes. You're going to be attracting this both in your art and in your relationships. The Sun card, positivity, freedom, fun, success, optimism, energy, joy, and truth. Every time I say muse and lyrics, you start laughing and cheesing. When this card came out, just because I also know you, Makari, I was like, that's Makari. So beautiful energy. And then what is the advice for Makari for intimate relationships? Yeah, being secure in yourself. We do have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, so it could be asking you to embody these energies, but also with the security, you know, being secure in yourself. It feels like it's been like a cycle of that. And again, saying a lot of no's until you really do mean yes. All right, Gloria and Danny. There goes, let's see. Danny. What's coming up around health and career? And if I'm honest, I just want a GF. I'll write that down, Danny. We'll see if the GF comes out. Health and career. I wish everybody love. Wow, good fortune so far. And then we're just waiting on Gloria. Is the man on my mind. Gloria, if you have a different username that doesn't say Gloria, because I do see one question, but it doesn't say Gloria. Let me know. Is the man on my mind my forever romantic partner? I don't know if that's Gloria or not. For Re and T, yeah, so you could send the $10 to Cash App or to the PayPal, where there is a PayPal with the same name. goddessenergy444. And we have Caitlin here too. For pause, play, record. Thanks, babe. And then Jessica. Is that the Jessica, I think? I'm not going to say the last name, but I think so. I think it's you. I love you. If it's you. Unfortunately, I don't have chime. That's something to look into. So Jessica, and I think it's the Jessica I'm thinking of in my mind's eye. The Jessica, and then Caitlin. Caitlin B. Feel free, Gloria, Jessica, and Caitlin, feel free to Yes, I'm using index cards. Feel free to send me your questions in the comments below. We're going to get to our raver and our festival. Miss Lauren over here. Gloria Abdullah. Okay, awesome, Gloria. Thank you. I don't ever do these, so not sure how these work. I need some twin flame. I think TF is twin flame knowledge. His initials are literally TF. Okay, Kate. Let's see on the TF. The TF for the TF. I've seen a lot of divorces. And then let's get to Gloria. There we go. I feel like I have negative energy around. Okay, so what's the negative energy for Gloria? What is it? What's coming from? Where it's coming from? And how to clear it. Gotcha, Gloria. All right. Yes. Okay. Lauren. Our rave festival soul purpose. Okay, what do we have for Lauren here? Thank you, Divine Mother. Thank you, Divine Father. Holy Spirit of Light. Holy Spirit of God for Lauren here. I'm just bringing back the question too. Okay, for Lauren. Blessings to your rebrand, Lauren. I'm an artist, graphic designer, and I want a career reading. For Lauren today, Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God. For Lauren. We're going to get in a career reading for Lauren. What do we have for Lauren in her career with the rave and festival community? What do we have for career with the rave and festival community? What do we have for Lauren for her career in the rave and festival community? We do have reflection. I'm going to grab one card from this deck too. What do we have for Lauren when it comes to career in the rave and festival community? The Sun card. There's a little bit of a warning though here. Where we do have the Sun card, why do we have reflection, gamble, conflict, and the Sun card for Lauren for career in the rave and festival community? Spirit's just saying, we're going to grab some cards, the tarot cards. You are going to be the light in what can be parasitic. And as soon as I say that, I get a message, actually. Oh, and so Katie, feel free to put your questions below, too. I'm going to write down your name. Where it says taking a risk. Poker face. I'm writing down Katie's name. You would be very pure light. And as, excuse me, like as I'm even reading your reading, there's someone who's doing like the lawn, right? Noise. Be mindful of the noise. That's what's showing up with this career reading so far. We have the Sun card. We have Door to Romance. But Spirit's saying that you would have to be like the High Priestess in your career, where like even people who are in the Sun card sometimes at the raves and festivals, you know, aren't always in the Sun card. There's definitely something about you being High Priestess in the rave and festival community, in your career. But there's something about you knowing who you are, and you're going to be a mirror here for some reason. For Lauren, when it comes to career in rave and festival community, for Lauren, what do we have for her career in the rave and festival community? Why do we have poker face, conflicted, cloudy judgment, reflection? For the Wheel of Fortune for Lauren for her career in Raven Festival. Why the Wheel of Fortune here? Why Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Swords for Lauren's career in Raven Festival? Why the Sun card here? Yeah, where Spirit's just saying to be like having your discernment. What do we have here for Door to Romance for Lauren for Raven Festival career? It says truth, and then it says be careful. Where it says Page of Swords, so like that's a card of defense, of just having your guard up. And then we do have the King of Swords here, truth. Where there's a warning about people, where you're going to be the light. There's a lot of distortion sometimes, you know, where Spirit's actually warning you of like, you're going to be the light, but just be mindful and careful of the offers of, say, love and even friendship, you know, where there's just a warning. It does say enemies disguised as friends, and then 10 of Swords. You know, it's the kind of thing of you have maybe your standards, your boundaries, and so make sure you maintain them. Where there could be all different kinds of people in, like, say, that industry. Why the Sun card here for Lauren and her career in... Why the Sun card here for Lauren and her career in the rave and festival community? It's interesting where we have the Eight of Cups, the Lover's card, and the Nine of Cups. So it is saying that you would like walk away from people. So just to be mindful, where I do see you entering into the career, and we do have Page of Pentacles, so it can be successful, but it feels like on a personal level, there's a lot of people, like you would be an energy transmuter. You would be the black tourmaline in a rave or a festival. And there's just some warning here about people of be careful that not everyone may be your friend there. It's just what it's saying. And I love how all of the noise comes up for the rave festival too. Now, what do we have for Lauren for advice when it comes to career? When it comes to career for Lauren of Raven Festival community, what is advice? There's a big warning of like a person or people. So just being like mindful, you know, of like say the people around you, where their values are, you know, where there could be a light worker that steps in. There could be someone dressed up as the sun, but is not, you know. And that's like what's coming through here, a big warning. We have the Death card. There's the Five of Wands. And it just keeps showing where, you know, just like being mindful of the people around you, like in the career. Now, is this going to be successful for Lauren? Is the career in rave and is it going to be successful? It can be, but there's a big warning. Look at that, reward for hard work, where it definitely can be, and we have travel here. But there's a big warning of you are going to be the black tourmaline crystal. And there's going to be a need for a lot of boundaries where, and I don't know why right away, like parasitic energies, you know, that you may attract more than you even thought that like you knew or see. We have the Moon card with the Ace of Wands. You're more powerful than you know. And it may actually show up in that career, but like where you actually become the healer kind of thing. So just having boundaries, it's going to be successful, but it will be successful with the boundaries is what this is saying, because you're a healer and, you know, you may come across a lot of people that need healing and didn't necessarily plan for that. Like that's what this is showing here. Yes, yeah, you know, I like how you said over here that you're resonating, been betrayed. Yeah, where, and I'm going to say it as it is, because now we have the Seven of Cups. Fantasy, illusion, imagination, hallucination. Like, you may go to a rave or festival and be a light worker. There are people who go to escape. And like, that's what this reading is saying, is you are the healer, but it may present of like, oh, whoa, these people need something, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's what I'm seeing there. We're going to get to the next reading over here. I hope that that resonated, Lauren. And blessings to your career as well. Let's see. Next is Gloria. So we're going to do Gloria and Danny, and then we'll get to Scorpio. And then we're going to be doing, I'm waiting on the questions from Jessica, Caitlin, we're going to do your twin flame, and then there's a Katie as well. Okay, for Gloria here, the negative energy. Okay, let's see what this is for Gloria. All right, and then we got Heather. Feel free, Katie Hutchinson. Let's see. Katie H. Feel free to put your question, and then Heather as well. Feel free to put your question down there, Heather E. All right, for Gloria, what's the negative energy? For Gloria here, what is the negative energy? Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God, what is the negative energy that Gloria is dealing with today? What is the negative energy? And I'm just going to go here to get, let's see, there we go. For Gloria today, what is the negative energy that is surrounding Gloria at this time? There's like something that's been blocking your ability to receive. We have receiving. As soon as I say that, I get a message. Compensation, perseverance, generosity, receiving, withholding, and then surprise, Lady of Lightning. There's some sort of energy that it feels like has been preventing like things from coming in your way, Gloria. That could be people, that could be money, it could be a few different things. So for Gloria, what is the negative energy that is blocking Gloria? Why do we have compensation, perseverance, generosity, receiving, withholding, and surprise for Gloria of what negative energy? Gloria, what this reading is saying is to pay attention to the people around you. There's somebody that you have heart connections with. It says balance, harmony, friendship. It could be any relationship here. So Gloria, there's like it feels like you're picking up on energy that does not belong to you. There's heartstrings here. So maybe think of your life of a relationship that it's actually kind of really holding you back. It seems that you're absorbing energy that does not belong to you. And so we're going to see with the tarot, and you're ascending. So that's also why this energy is ready to be cleared. And maybe even why you're asking of like, what is the energy? You have a cord here, and it's keeping you stuck to the past from moving forward and ascending actually. And your next level, your next cycle has more. So there's more available. Whatever that might be, more love, more peace, say more abundance. For Gloria here, what is the negative energy surrounding Gloria? Why do we have heartstrings, peace, ascending, surprise for Gloria? There's a lot about receiving and giving here. So Gloria, also pay attention to maybe whoever it is that you've been giving to or even receiving from. There's something along those lines. Here of what the negative energy is for Gloria. Why the Six of Coins here? For what negative energy is Gloria dealing with? It's interesting, Gloria. I actually see, and like a tower card again. So it's interesting. You have two like tower cards in this reading, Gloria. There is some negative energy that's impacting your ability to give and to receive. As you clear it, the Page of Pentacles comes in here. What do we have for the Six of Coins for Gloria? For what's blocking Gloria? Interesting. Judgment, victory. You're meant to be victorious. Why Six of Coins here? For what's the negative energy blocking Gloria? It looks like people. So just confirmation. Pay attention to your relationships. Is there anyone that's maybe taking more from you than you're giving, taking more from you than they give to you? We have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries, Leo, Sag, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So it shows that there's a few different people in your life, that maybe you're absorbing their energy without realizing it. They're tugging on your energy. There's cords to them. That's what I'm seeing over here. All right. Let's grab some advice for Gloria. What's the advice of how to clear this energy? Yeah, it feels like the advice is to, look, 3 people here again. So it could be specifically 3 people, but confirmation, the Hangman, and then the 3 of Pentacles here. Shifting your perspective, Gloria, of these people, of how much say you give and receive, what's the dynamic between you all. I see that a new beginning comes in as you shift your perspective about at least 3 people in your life. And that's what this reading is showing. All right, we're going to do Danny over here, and then we're going to get quick to the Scorpio reading, and we're going to continue. Feel free to send Jessica M. You could send your question as well. I think it's the Jessica that I'm thinking of. I think so. I'll have to look at the comments. Let's see here. We did do Pisces, and we're about to do Scorpio now. We're doing the mini readings in between. So we're going to do Danny over here, Jessica M, Caitlin B, Katie H, and then Heather E. You're going to be right after the Scorpio reading. And the Scorpio Cancer readings are only going to be about 2-3 minutes. What's next for you in life? The main focus. For Rian T, are you Caitlin or Katie or Heather? I have my moon, Pluto stack on top of each other in my 7th house. Oh, sugar, honey, iced tea. In the 7th house too, with all the Scorpio. That would make sense though when it comes to a rave, like a rave festival. Like we think of it as like fun. It's actually very Scorpionic, rave, like a festival kind of things. And so it's activating that, which is the 7th house. So just what Spirit's saying, is that you would kind of be the healer and the teacher in the Raven Festival industry, is like what that's showing. There goes Heather. Hi, Heather. Should I continue my path? Current agency. Should I continue path or election in 6 years? Would it be successful? Awesome. Yes, get it, Heather. Let's see. Blessings, blessings, Gloria. I'm happy you know who those 3 people are. Blessings. Birthday twin, Danny, let's go. I just saw the birthday. I'm 3-1. Oh, yeah, birthday twin. All right, Danny. What do we have for Danny today? Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God. Danny, the birthday twin, born 3-1. For Danny today, Danny Miz. What do we have for Danny Miz on health and career? The girlfriend question actually came out before the rest. Why only you ghosting and distracted for Danny Miz for health and career? There is a time that it's going to come in. And then we do have beauty. Okay, you got some beauty coming into your life. There's someone coming into your life. We do have only you, focused on just you, observing you. So somebody's coming in. This could also be someone from the past. When it comes to health and career, it feels like when it comes to love, there's a focus on those things like health and career. Something about discipline is coming up. We do have distracted here. So crossing T's, dotting I's in your foundation. It feels like, Danny, there's been a cycle of you focusing on your foundation and those things. And with time, someone's coming in. Okay, we do have emotions over here, and there's a man and a woman. So let's see. 4. And then friendship. Okay, so peace comes out as well. What do we have for Danny Miz here? What do we have for Danny Miz for health and career? Why time, emotions, distracted, running, and only you for Danny Miz for health and career. A lot about stability here. All earth, well, except for the 9 of Cups here. We do have King of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The 9 of Cups would be showing you like working on yourself. So just confirmation of health and career. And yeah, this reading is actually saying that this is the season of working on the foundation, because afterwards you fly. Where you're focusing on your foundation, there is a divine feminine coming into the foundation. There is career, money, good health also coming in. So the foundation of your body and the foundation like without a view. So maybe things like finances, home, things like that. That is what's leading to success in the long run. And that is what's coming in for you, Danny, where it says routine. So discipline and routine over here. All right, for Danny Miz, for health and career, why the 9 of Cups here? Why King of Pentacles? Why the Knight of Pentacles? Yeah, all pentacle energy. You know, where Spirit's saying, yes, work on your body, work on finances, your personal foundation. What do we have for Danny Miz for divine feminine energy? What do we have for Danny Miz of divine feminine energy coming in? It shows that you are clearing out old emotions over here. You know, and that could be like, you know, just healing from the past, family, old relationships. 4 of Pentacles, it says catching people, property issue, 7 of Pentacles. So just confirmation. It's like Spirit has you prepping your foundation, and there is a divine feminine coming in. This is your foundation. 9 of Wands, resiliency. And it feels like your life is making space and room for her to come in. All right, what is the advice for Danny Miz for... What is the advice for Danny Miz for romance? What is the advice for romance? You do have a Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag here. Confirmation that there's like a death and rebirth cycle that you're going through, and the Strength card. It does have an 8 of Swords. Why the 8 of Swords? Truth. The Sun card. Yeah, you know, an Aries, Leo, Sag may be present in your life, or just energetically. And it does feel like as you're discovering your truths and clearing things out, somebody else is as well. All right, now we're going to get to the Scorpio reading. Thank you, Danny. And happy belated birthday. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Noah over here. Let's get Scorpio. All right, for Scorpio. And actually, before we do that, I'm definitely going to need to grab my phone charger. There goes Heather. So we're going to do Scorpio really quick for 3 minutes. We're going to be doing Jessica M. I'm going to be looking for her question, Caitlin B. And then we have Katie H. And I have Heather's question, over here. All right. But yeah, I'm going to need to grab my charger. So shout out to you, Noah, Aria. Oh, is this what we can do? Hold on. Oh my gosh, it finally has a pause button. I've waited 5 years on YouTube to have a pause button for lives. grabbing the charger here. But oh my gosh, I really did wait 5 years to get a pause button for lives. They didn't always have that there. I'm really easy and simple to please. The fact that there's a pause button, that made me really happy today. All right, so let's dive into Scorpio. My phone's on the charger now, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going to get to Scorpio. Let's see. There we go. I'm wearing my craftsman pants today. This is where I do all of my like painting and renovation and stuff in these pants. The little things, yeah, where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a pause button on the YouTube. This is great. All right, let's get to Scorpio. We're going to dive into the Scorpio mini reading. You can have Scorpio anywhere in your birth chart. Put it in the comments below where you have Scorpio. Personally, Scorpio is my first house at 1 degrees. Okay, what do we have for all Scorpio placements? And then we're going to go to the next 4 mini readings. What do we have for Scorpio placements today? Drop it in the comments below where you personally have Scorpio. I am a Scorpio at 1 degrees. Unexpected return. Marlon Smith, hi. What do we have for all Scorpio placements today? What do Scorpio placements need to hear the most? Hurtful words. Scorpio, don't pay attention. Possibilities, free-spirited. Why do we have bitterness here for Scorpio? Who's spreading rumors, Scorpio? Scorpio, ignore the haters is what this is saying. Now, you're Uranus Scorpio in the 2nd house. 2nd house Scorpio, it can be a very powerful placement. Like when you wield that 2nd house Scorpio, that's a powerhouse. Where it can be like an 8th house Scorpio, and that's in the house of finances. But with Uranus there, it's like things can shift and change quickly. So for all Scorpio placements today, put it in the comments below where you personally have Scorpio. There's somebody talking bad about you. It says making you the fool, smearing your image, bitterness. It says disregard. Why do we have free-spirited here? Why do we have possibilities, free-spirited, adventure, and risk for Scorpio energy? Beauty, kind-hearted, graceful, charming. Scorpio placements, you may be dealing with gossip in some way, shape, or form over here. Scorpio moon. We just had a full moon in Scorpio too. Yeah, it says spreading rumors, bitterness. There's somebody that's bitter about you, Scorpio. Disregard, ignore it, leave behind, look the other way. Because you're showing up here as someone who's very free-spirited, someone who's light and kind-hearted. So let's see what this is, Scorpio placements. All right, for Scorpio placements here, why do we have gossip and bitterness? Kind of want to see. Knight of Swords with the 8 of Wands. For Scorpio placements, why do we have gossip and bitterness? Why gossip and bitterness? For Scorpio placements, why the 4 of Wands and the 5 of Cups for gossip and bitterness? Death card almost sideways. Why Death card here for Scorpio? For the 4 of Wands and the 5 of Cups. Why the Temperance card? For Scorpio. For Scorpio placements, why do we have disregard? If there's an Aries, Leo, Sag throwing anything your way, Scorpio, disregard. This is somebody who wants to take you down into the death card, but here's the thing. you're the Scorpio. You are the death card. And so when somebody tries to bring you the death card, it's like, Scorpio, that's your home, death card. A lot of the Scorpionic here with the Five of Cups. For Scorpio, why do we have gossip and bitterness? Why the Four of Wands here for gossip and bitterness? This is either happening like home, family, or at work. Why Five of Cups here for Scorpionic, Scorpio energy, Scorpio placements? Why do we have gossip and bitterness for the Five of Cups here for Scorpio? Yeah, you caught some sort of issue, catching people issues. Five of Cups here. And then why the Temperance card, the Three of Swords, and the Death card for Scorpio placements? Why Judgment? A heart. Okay, Scorpio. Don't let them bring you the Death card. You are the Death card. Where, Scorpio, this is you knowing your power. And by that, I mean, they're trying to like spew all the Scorpionic energy onto you. You rule the Scorpio. But the healed Scorpio, oh, my mic is not in it. I was going to do this. The healed Scorpio. They're throwing at you like the fear, the this, the that. It's the yin and me. Like, you know, like the dark side of Scorpio. You have healed Scorpionic energy. Like, you know how like rock and roll isn't necessarily Scorpio. The true underworld, like say Hades, because I've been talking about Hades on this channel. The true Hades is not this energy at all. That's the lower way that people are using Hades and Scorpionic energy, but that's not true Scorpionic energy. It's the lower. For whoever's watching me right now, you have Scorpio placements. They are throwing you lower Scorpionic energy, and you'll take it and go like this, where it's an Aries, Leo, Sag. Trying to bring conflict. And Spirit's saying, no, disregard them. You're not going to fall into those Scorpionic pits. You know better than that. Judgment is the Ten of Cups. Happiness, happy family reunion. It says coming home. Yeah, just a happiness over here. Ten of Cups here. Judgment. So Scorpio placements. This is the true judgment upon your life. Somebody is bringing you, though, like, and I don't know, I'm just seeing like rock and roll and like beer bottles kind of thing. I'm like someone showing up rock and roll in a beer bottle where it's just like, well, that's like Scorpio aesthetic. Let's talk about the real Scorpio energy. A Scorpio is, yeah, you know, where they're throwing at you something that, again, like it's your strength here. You know better than that. You have healed and transcended above and beyond that. You are charming, graceful, and kind-hearted. And God's judgment upon you is actually this Ten of Cups energy. So that's also why Spirit's saying just to control what you can control, Scorpio. It's choice. It says choice here, Scorpio. Why the Two of Wands here for Scorpio? Scorpio, you're going to truth. The truth. And victory, success. Scorpio, you are going to thrive. You're going to succeed. And there's something about do not identify with the conflict, the fight, the everything that's being thrown at you. They want you in a death card energy. You know what I'm hearing? Because Hades is like a good judge of like, let Hades be the judge of that. Where if you don't allow this to impact you, it won't impact you. But part of it is like, don't even engage with it. Don't even try to fight it. It's like, you know, an earth angel goes up to like, I don't know, rock and roll and a bunch of beers, just like, I can't even talk or argue with you, you know? And that's what I'm seeing in this reading. What is the support? What is the advice for Scorpio? What is the advice for Scorpio here for bitterness? it's going to alchemize and transmute. We do have the Queen of Pentacles here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So you need to know that it will alchemize and transmute whatever's being thrown your way, Scorpio. But definitely don't, and when I say don't identify with it, don't become part of it, you know, of this is not your fight or your battle. You know, of knowing when to pick up the sword. This is something, and it does say disregarding it. You know, like, it's the kind of thing of, like, say someone leaves you, like, I don't know, say like I don't know what it says here, Scorpio, but looking the other way, ignoring it, disregarding it. For you, stonewalling it, not giving it any of your time, energy, or attention. Okay, and that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Of whatever that might be, Scorpio placements. Zeron. Reading the comments here. All right, Jessica M. I don't see her comment yet. If it's the Jessica M I'm thinking of, I can reach out to her. There's one Jessica M I'm thinking of, so we're just looking here for Jessica M. For Caitlin B, we're going to go to Caitlin B, which is Twin Flame, and pause, play, record. Your Twin Flames initials are TF too. All right, so what do we have here for the personal mini readings today? We're going to clear out the Scorpionic reading here. What do we have for Caitlin B on her twin flame journey? Hello, Renee the Pisces. Thank you, Rising with AJ. And Cheryl, the PayPal is goddessenergy444. I'm just waiting on Katie H and Jessica M. If after Heather I don't receive it, I'll do general readings, and then I know I can reach out to Jessica. And then Maria, I don't even know how she found my Venmo. Maria, feel free to send your question too. That's why I didn't list and my Venmo is not even the same name. I love that. All right, what do we have for Caitlin B today? What do we have for Caitlin B for her twin flame journey? Avoiding, blocking, pushing away. For Caitlin B today. Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God, for Caitlin B, for her twin flame journey, who has the initials TF. What do we have for Caitlin B and her twin flame TF? There's a deep denial here. Yeah, there's a deep denial here. And it could be your twin flame. Conflict. There maybe could be a conflict. I'm reading one of the comments here. Yeah, Caitlin B, for your twin flame, it says irreconcilable, clashing differences. What this is showing so far, there may have been something that happened in the connection that you didn't quite see or know. For Caitlin B, what is this conflict for Caitlin B and her twin flame TF? What is this conflict? It says retaliation, like punishing. What this is showing, we do have secret admirer, where what I would ask Katie or Caitlin B, does your twin flame kind of like punish you sometimes with silence, or ever has in the past? There's like this energy from your twin flame that they're like into like retaliation kind of thing. And it's just it could be why they're kept away from you. Why do we have boundaries for Caitlin B and her twin flame? For Caitlin B and her twin flame, why boundaries? It's interesting, we have escape twice. We have escape twice and then completely done, where this whole reading is saying completely done. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It says shattered, crushed, sadness, broken heart, panic attack. it feels like in this reading so far, your twin flame may have done something, whether in front of your back or not, that it was like retaliation, but the kind of thing where your guides are not happy with what your twin flame has done here. Let me know. Cheryl. Okay, awesome. So we'll do a general one for Cheryl. And then Maria, if you can, let's see, where's Maria? Maria H. For Maria H, if you can send a question, that would be great as well. Oh, 1000%. He drove past my house. Oh my gosh. Let's get to your tarot over here, spiritual bestie. The gods are not allowing that. And I have chills on my back. The back of the neck, my bird said something, so. The back of the neck is oftentimes where there are even cords that we don't realize. And so Spirit's also saying in this reading to cleanse and clear the back of your neck. And my bird did say something, or chirp, as I said that. And so just, it could help to cleanse and clear any energies too, even any negative energy that your twin flame may have. What do we have for Caitlin B? For her twin flame, why do we have escape? Why do we have escape here for her twin flame? For Caitlin B, why do we have escape? 8 of Cups. I love the way you lie by Rihanna. That's what I'm hearing in this reading, but like the part 2. The part 2 part says, you know, this thing started out so beautiful, and then it turned out so ugly. I'm like surprised. And that's what it says in the song. For Caitlin B on her twin flame, why the 8 of Cups? It's a choice, but this reading is like saying run. Why the 10 of Cups for Caitlin B and her twin flame? Why the 10 of Cups for Caitlin B and her twin flame? It says truth. 10 of Wands, 4 of Swords. It would be a lot for you to heal from, is what this is showing. And just based off your comment, you know of what you said as well. Let's see. What do we have for the Temperance card for Caitlin B and her twin flame? Why the Temperance card? You know, yeah, the song Love the Way You Lie Part 2. And it says, it started out so beautiful, and then it turned out so evil. I don't know why I'm so surprised. But it even shows it in this reading of like, but how did, by the end of this reading, and I will say it looks very pure. And perhaps that's the way your soul contract was meant to be, right? Of like, things did seem okay at first. They seemed perfect and happy. It very quickly turned into something you had to run from. And so that's what Spirit is saying here. 2 of Wands, the 8 of Cups, and then the 7 of Swords here. And 7 of Swords says enemies disguised as friends. What is the advice here? What is the advice here for Caitlin B when it comes to her twin flame? And then why the Fool card for advice for Caitlin B when it comes to her twin flame? Moving forward, confirmation that there, you know, could be multiple people involved, but you're going to move forward like the Fool card over here. You are innocent. I do see you like doing what you need to do. 9 of Swords, it says fear. You know, you don't have to be in any fear, but we do have the Ace of Cups here where there is a brand new beginning. You know, so doing what it is that you have to do in this situation, protecting yourself in the ways it is that you also have to protect yourself. But I will say this reading, by the end of it, it starts out of like beautiful, and then it's saying to run, you know, and I know based off of your comment of what you just said, you know, it looks like this is someone who's kind of vengeful, you know, marriage and divorce. Oh, yeah, where do what you have to do. It says boundaries, no. Do whatever it is that you have to do kind of thing. Because this is definitely someone who is like vengeful, but you know, especially if you're that moved on, definitely do what you have to do. Ray Ray. Ray Ray. Let's see. Not sure where, let's see, what's the next step must take to fully step into emotional and spiritual sovereignty. Okay, so we're going to do Ray Ray. Ray Ray. And then I'm waiting on the questions from Katie H. and Jessica. We're going to do Ray Ray and Heather. And if I don't see the questions, then we'll do general readings, and at least one of them I can reach out to. All right, so what do we have here? And then Maria H as well. So for Katie H, Maria H, and Jessica M, we're just still waiting on the questions. All right, for Ray Ray, what do we have for Ray Ray 222? For Ray Ray 222, what do we have for, what are the next steps for Ray Ray 222 when it comes to emotional and spiritual sovereignty? What are the next steps for emotional and spiritual sovereignty for Ray Ray 222? Now, why do we have dismiss for emotional and spiritual sovereignty for Ray Ray 222? No, there's someone that you walked away from that there might actually be like closure or forgiveness. And this may lead to emotional sovereignty, even say spiritual sovereignty. We have call. Are you going to hear from someone and get an apology? We have call and then apology over here. For Ray Ray, for spiritual emotional sovereignty, we have dismiss, but then it says return and spying. So be mindful. You know, where it does say dismiss, we're going to see with the tarot, is it telling you that when this person comes back to dismiss them or to give them a second chance? That will ultimately be up to you. But there's some sort of, I'm seeing the heart space now. It could be in general forgiveness and cleansing and clearing grief. It could also be a specific person. We do have memories here. And so the back of the heart is awesome for cleansing and clearing of old grief. I'm seeing, yeah, the back and front of the heart, cutting the cords. And it could even be something along the lines of like, I forgive you, or I release you. And that actually really makes a lot of room here. So right away, emotional, spiritual sovereignty, there's some closure or forgiveness, even if it's with the person or, you know, without the person. So what do we have here for Ray Ray? Oh, right over here. For Ray Ray 222. What do we have for Ray Ray 222 on emotional and spiritual sovereignty? Why do we have memories, apology, and call for emotional and spiritual sovereignty? For Ray Ray 222, why the Five of Cups for emotional and spiritual sovereignty? Why the Five of Cups and the Page of Wands for Ray 222? Ooh, somebody comes in at the end of this in a good way. Why the Two of Cups here for the outcome for Ray Ray for emotional, ooh, in a good way. Ace of Swords. And then why the Page of Wands here for Ray Ray 222? Emotional, spiritual sovereignty. Confirmation, Six of Cups, and then the King of Cups and the Page of Wands. As you go back to the past, there's something in the past. As you clear it, it makes so much room. So just confirmation, there's an apology, there's closure from the past. That might be something you do on your own. It could be with the person. And why the Five of Cups here for Ray Ray 222? Interesting. An entirely new cycle comes in as you release a Five of Cups energy. So confirmation, it is grief in some way, shape, or form. Five of Cups is like grief and loss. A brand new journey starts for you, but as that is released, you know, and that could be deep prayer, you know, deep healing, deep meditation, cleansing, clearing. But it does feel like there's like a ripping out of this energy for you. And as you rip out this Five of Cups scorpionic energy, it actually completely frees you. And I actually see really good people coming into your life, like healthy people, aligned relationships. For Ray Ray 222, what is the advice for emotional and spiritual sovereignty? Interesting. You know, where we do have the Hierophant, which is contracts. It's also traditions, the Lover's card, so relationships. When it comes to especially emotionally sovereignty, it feels like even spiritual sovereignty. It does feel like you're working on relationships at this time. It could be coming more into independence, cleansing and clearing those old relationships, or even the wounds, you know, that no longer serve you to hold on to. But I'm seeing that's a big key, you know, when it comes to emotional and spiritual sovereignty. So for Ray Ray 222, what is some advice for emotional? Yeah, did someone in the past, it says, making you the fool, smearing your image, petty. You are, yeah, it feels like you're releasing heaviness of like a lot of things that may have happened in the past. And that, rather cutting those emotional cords sets you free completely. All right, where you're free-spirited by the end of this reading. Okay, so I hope that that resonates with you too. Stand strong or run. I just got a message too. We'll call. Stand strong or run. I'm reading the messages. Oh, you got called in a soon. Oh, awesome. I'm happy that it resonates. Danny. Thanks, bestie. Yes. It's what we were made for. Awesome, Katie H. I asked about what's next for me in life. I love all the artists here today. Okay, so for art career, and is boyfriend forever. And what's next? We're doing like we're going to be doing 2 to 3 minute readings for everyone. I'm going to move this light here too. There we go. Okay, for Katie H. Let's get it in for Katie. Oh, Katie, are you getting a call soon? Call comes out right away. All right, Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God, for Katie H. What is coming in for Katie H today? What's coming in for Katie H next in her life? Oh, past life. I got to bring out the past life oracle deck now. What's coming in for Katie H that's from a past life? I loved your comment the other day, Makari, that you cry in diamonds or you cry in crystalline. I love that comment. What do we have for Katie H? Why is this past life coming up for Katie H? What is this past life? Oh, Katie H, if there's anything that has come up with your health, it's from a past life, or could be from a past life. I'm not a medical doctor. I do not give medical advice. I do have shows, as I said, that scribe or writer. For Katie H, why do we have health and past life? It does say monk or nun, scribe or writer. Finances. There's like some sort of health journey that you took in a past life. And it feels like it's coming up now in some way, shape, or form. I would ask, does this have like anything to do with eating? It does say monk or nun. So like eating, your discipline, your routine. We'll dive into this first for what's coming in. For Katie H, why do we have past life, health, monk or nun? Why past life, health, and monk or nun? Katie H, in a past life, you kind of like released anything material. And it feels like that's the truth that's coming through here. 6 of Wands, the Devil card, and then we do have the Star card over here. This can also show up as like maybe like a fear sometimes of holding material, of having material. There could also be like a subconscious fear of like, say, being perfect or like, I have to do this, you know? There's something about a routine or discipline of like, no, I have to do this, I have to be good, or like, you know, purity, where it's like, no, but I have to be pure. There's something along the lines that that's coming up, Katie, over here. Now, why the star card here for past life, health, and monk or nun? But what I'm seeing here is, yeah, there's in for you. It feels like in a past lifetime, like say you wouldn't accept certain things. This can also show up as you being kind of strict or disciplined with yourself, or maybe you even struggle with that. So the other side of it. But that's what I'm seeing here. So there's definitely a past life you're actually clearing out here. All right, now what do we have for Katie H for career? What do we have for Katie H today? For Katie H when it comes to her art career. It is returning. There is something to not ignore. For Katie H for art and career, why second chance, memories, disregard? Why second chance for Katie H for her career and art? Why the 5 of coins? Why the 5 of coins and the Ace of Swords for her career and art? What this is showing is, it feels like it's also very spiritual. Why the Hermit card for Katie H for her career and art? There's something though about money. So I would ask, like in this reading, do you feel like you haven't made as much money as you feel like you deserve for your art? Or has it been like a struggle to attract money in your art? That's what's kind of showing in this reading, where by the end of this, there's a little bit of a shift in perspective. Why the King of Wands here for Katie H and her career and art? You know, what Spirit's saying here, and I think that's like for anyone in art, not that it's like freelancing, you know, but when it comes to money, it's different. You know, the consistency, you know, and it still can be consistent, but that's what I'm seeing here. There's a part of you that may almost feel like you want to give up because you haven't quite made what you feel like you're worth and deserve for your art, you know, which I see you're worthy here. And there's like a big shift in perspective. It may even like emotionally pull you, your art career. I see there's a standing of your ground. We have the 4 of Wands here, and then we do have 4 of Cups. There is a missed offer. What is the 4 of Cups for Katie H for her art career? Yeah, there might be a part of you that feels like there's a missed opportunity here. But it feels like Spirit's also saying like to keep going, not to be hard on yourself. There's maybe almost a part of you, and this could be in the past, that wanted to stop what you were doing. There's just something about maybe you're not where you wanted to be. What is the outcome for Katie H and her art career? What is the outcome over here? We have the Wheel of Fortune, but we do have the 4 of Pentacles before the Wheel of Fortune. So what this is showing is before the wheel turns, there's like certain things you're clearing out with money and wealth. And what it's showing is like maybe even a blended career where maybe that's how you start or what you've done in the past. All right, so we're going to get now on your relationship, and then we're going to get to Heather. And then I'm going to take a look for Jessica M's question, if not. Oh, it says 0 profit, kindness versus weakness. Yeah, we're like, set your boundaries, you know, and that's what I'm seeing, that you, that's the part maybe of like your art career that especially it feels like it emotionally pulls you, you know, like you know you're worth more, and that's coming too. It feels like you're clearing that out. All right, now what do we have for Katie H? Will Katie H and her boyfriend be together forever? Will Katie H and her boyfriend be together forever? Now it does say unexpected action. It says silence, no words, conflict, negativity. So we'll see what comes out with this, but it feels like it's just, I mean, no relationship is perfect, right? Oh, the Lovers card at the end, so we're going to take it. For Katie H. Yeah, where this is just showing that if things are past, present, or future, it says balanced communication. Two of Wands. Why the Two of Wands here for Katie H, and will her and her partner be together forever? We have the Three of Wands here, reward for hard work, travel, and then the Eight of Swords. It feels like there might be a conflict coming up in the future, and there's a choice though, where this conflict, it could be something where you or your partner are like, well, we're not getting through this conflict, and so there is something, say, coming up. It feels like it would be unexpected conflict, but you can get through it, and it would ultimately be both of your choice. And that's what I'm seeing here with the Lovers. Why the Lovers card here for Katie H, for if she will stay with her boyfriend? Why the Lovers card here? Yeah, Five of Cups and then the Two of Cups. So Spirit's just saying it feels like it is ultimately up to both of you. There is a conflict maybe in the future, and then it's up to both of you to move through that or not. But I am saying that you can move through it. However, for some reason, it shows in some sort of maybe upcoming conflict, someone may choose to not communicate, which that's where the choice comes in of like, well, we can communicate or we could just ignore each other, and so it can stay, if you get into a conflict and you can't control the other person, but if they choose, to not communicate, like that's what's showing up here. Okay, so that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. Thank you for being here. Pause, play, record. Love you all. You're going to the store. Awesome. XOXO. Thank you, Makari. I love you being here too. All right. So let's get to Heather over here. Heather E. Oh, yes, Heather E. We're going to get for both. The election in 6 years, will it be successful? We are all voting for you. Heather E. For Heather E. Should Heather E. continue her path with her current agency? Ooh, I mean, I thought this was really, you got a good card here. And it does say natural law, divine order, material wealth, true prosperity. For Heather E., should Heather E. continue her path with her current agency? Should Heather E. continue her path with her current agency? What's the outcome if Heather E. continues her path with her current agency? Why the Hangman and the Moon card for should Heather E. continue her path? Now, I will say there are like certain sacrifices you make towards the end. It's going to be beautiful. Like if you were to stay in your current agency, it says truth, money, material wealth, true prosperity, the Ten of Pentacles. There would be a shift in perspective, a sacrifice here. And that could say like be moving. It could be this, it could be that. Why the Hangman and the Moon card for Heather E. for continuing with her agency? We have the Ten of Cups here. It says marriage, home, and family. There is something that comes up in your life, and it can even be children, right? And like I say, wife or husband. Your current agency will still bring you the Ten of Pentacles. So what you need to know is even if you were to not leave, you would still get the Ten of Pentacles. And it says truth. Okay, for Heather E. for her election in 6 years. What do we have for her election in 6 years? For Heather E. What is coming up for her election in 6 years? For Heather E. What is the outcome of the election in 6 years for Heather E? Ooh, this is such like government kind of car energy. Oh yeah. This is like Pluto energy right here. We have material wealth, true prosperity again, wisdom, power of the divine, Yes, you are the chess queen, Heather E. We have trust and strategy, boundaries. I love all of because things like elections are masculine energy. I actually love this energy that's coming through. For Heather E, what is the outcome of the election in 6 years for Heather E? Why boundaries, trust, and wisdom? For Heather E, why the Six of Swords for the outcome of this election in 6 years? And for Heather E, why Six of Swords, Ace of Swords for the outcome of her election? Why Page of Cups? And Two of Pentacles. Do you have children now or going to have children? Are you going to have another child in 6 years, or do you have a child already? Something keeps coming up with children. That there might be like something that comes up. Is there like a spirit baby that's coming through here? Maybe it's just something that comes up with family. Why do we have the Ten of Wands here for the outcome of the election in 6 years? And why the Sun card here for the outcome of the election in 6 years? Children again. Two grown. Yeah, it could be, it could also be grandchildren that comes up then. There might be a big, it doesn't have to be with the 6 years. It doesn't have to be, well, yeah, if you have grown children. There's something that comes up. Now, we do have the Hermit card over here. It says children past getting influenced, the Hermit card. Why Six of Cups with the Hermit card for the election in 6 years? There's something that may come up. So what Spirit is saying is there might even be something before the 6 years comes up that may shift the election. That's just what it's showing. You do have Queen of Pentacles. What is the final outcome of this election in 6 years for Heather? And why King of Wands for the final outcome? Things are going to work out, but life is going to change a lot before the election is what this is showing. I see you partnering with someone. It could be an Aries, Leo, Sag. It could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. King and then a Queen and the Page of Pentacles here. What this is actually showing is like your opinions may greatly shift or change in 6 years. Or like say the world changes, right? Like say the world, 111 as I say that, or say the world goes through like a big shift again. Something changes here. But by the end of this, as far as the election, you are happy. We have positivity, freedom, fun, success. There's money here as well. You're partnering with someone too, but it may look completely different than how you imagined it, is what this is saying. So what's the advice for Heather E for this election in 6 years? You're going to get a reward for your hard work, definitely. You're definitely going to get investments. It says things coming to fruition here. Foresight is moving abroad. It says travel, foreign country, visionary, reward for hard work, and then the Six of Coins. What you need to know too is you're going to have, I'm just seeing investors, people who are going to be working with you on your election, your campaign. All of that is here. The boundaries are here. The only thing I do see is there might be something that you don't see in your own life that just changes a lot of things. Maybe the way that you speak, right? Maybe something big happens in your family that changes things. Something big might happen in the world, like world events, that it's not going to look how you envision it now. You're going to get a reward for hard work and you're going to do amazing. Charity giving over here. You have investors here. So beautiful things coming your way. And I will say this feels very secure. There's definitely just a life shift that might be coming in 6 years is what this is showing. Blessings, Ree. Yes, blessings to you. Hello, Aventurine. Hello, beautiful blue. Oh, your name is Lance. Hi, Lance. I also have a worrying career brewing. It may change things. Yes, where like investments, rewards for hard work, or writing career. Yes, that could be what it is. Where like, say for example, like you just have a book that completely takes off. There's something you don't see that just alters the journey a little bit, but you're still going on the journey. And that's what I see there. All right. We're going to try to get into Cancer too. We're getting in all of the readings today. The mini readings, rather. All right. For Mary Ann. And at the end, if I see someone hasn't sent a question, I will just do it as like a general reading. The name Marie keeps coming up. Is any of you named Marie? Oh my gosh. My son just got accepted, though, into his baseball team that he was not accepted into, so doors opened. That's funny. Oh, you're in Australia. Beautiful. I would love to go to Australia just for the wildlife. My home in itself, I have 2 ball pythons, I have a bearded dragon, and I have a bird. And I will say the only pets that are mine, well, yeah, the lizard and Osiris, the snake, is only mine. The other snake, I was holding it for someone for a month, and it's been a year and a half now. But that snake is really sweet and cute. Both of them are ball pythons. So we're going to get to Cheryl for a general reading. And then for Maria H. and for Mary Ann, if I don't see any questions, I'll do a general reading. Jessica M., I'll do a general reading too, but I don't know why. I feel like I know exactly who that is, and I would just reach out to her too to see what her question is. But we'll still do it just in case it's a different Jessica M. All right. There we go. It paused for a second. All right. For Cheryl. For Cheryl today, what do we have for Cheryl V? For Cheryl V, her mini reading. For Cheryl V. Oh, you got one of your ball pythons. Oh, yeah, when someone tells you to take care of their pet and then never takes the pet back. I have 2 snakes here. Oh, there we go. It readjusted. Yeah, I have 2 pythons, but I've only had Osiris for 5 years. That other ball python was only supposed to stay here for like a month. It's been a year and a half, and I've just accepted it. All right, what do we have for Cheryl V? One of our Pisces soul brothers actually gave me this. What do we have for Cheryl V today? Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God, for Cheryl V, I'm seeing the color purple in my mind's eye, and like lavenders and lilacs. What is a general reading? What does Cheryl V need to hear the most? What does Cheryl V? You are releasing something toxic from a past life, Cheryl V. Past life releasing. And then chasing. It says pursuit, toxicity, resilience. Let's see what this is. We're going to grab the past life oracle deck. Whoa, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. That's a lot of Pisces. I love that. And a Sag-stellium, rather. I love that. I have 2 placements in Sagittarius. My Sagittarius is the 2nd house. I learned to love that over time. Reading the comments here. Okay, so what do we have for Cheryl V? What is this past life that Cheryl V is releasing? Persecution for your spirituality. You've been resilient. Cheryl V, you have dealt with multiple betrayals and persecutions in your life. It could be very specifically of your spirituality. Now, it does say medicine man or woman, but it doesn't have to be. You know, or this could just be spirituality. So you're releasing the persecution wound, which I will say is collectively as well. We're going to go to this deck here. All right. For Cheryl V. For Cheryl V, what do we have for this past life release of persecution? For Cheryl V, what do we have for this past life release of persecution? Why the Six of Coins for the past life release of persecution for Cheryl V? And why the Three of Cups here for the outcome for Cheryl V? Cheryl V, I'll grab a few more cards. Why the Queen of Pentacles for releasing this past life of persecution? Cheryl V, somebody came for your success. It could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could also be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or a Libra. Somebody tried to come for your success, and your success was true. This also happened to you in a past life. Page of Cups and then the Two of Coins over here. It's like it almost feels like the past life balance. It's interesting here, where you do have the Three of Cups at the end of this reading. And what's coming through in this reading, Cheryl V, were you nice to someone or gave something to someone that ended up turning on you, but that was like the last time you learned that lesson? That was the last time that you ever gave or overgave. And it feels like past life. Eight of Cups, moving on. There's advice of looking at your routine and your discipline. You have people coming in, okay? So if you have experienced in your life, Cheryl V, the experience of persecution, feels like it's past lives, and you're going to be surrounded by people who are trustworthy, who love you, who have pure intentions for you. All right, why Page of Cups and the Two of Wands here for Cheryl V? Yeah, they tried to hangman you, okay? Where, it does say sacrifice and passivity. Oh, in a past life, you were passive of someone who was trying to persecute you. And hangman with the Queen of Wands here. In this lifetime, you own your strength and your power. In this lifetime, you have boundaries. You know that it's okay, for you to truly love someone and for them to just kind of crap on you, especially when you know that you were in your truth. And by the end of this reading, as you walk away from those things, and it also feels like healing within, I actually see that in the long run, you actually have people who are going to surround you. Three of Cups over here. And then the Eight of Pentacles. Why Three of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles for Cheryl V for the future? Yeah, it says the Fool card, innocence and freedom, and then the Nine of Swords. You're going to have relationships in the future that are healing, and it does feel like you're releasing definitely some sort of dynamic of persecution from a past life. All right, and then what's just overall advice for Cheryl V for clearing out this past life energy? It's a choice. We do have the Temperance card here. It says balance, peace, and patience. So it's interesting, you may be experiencing some like multi-dimensional balance from this past life. With Ma'at, yeah, you just mentioned Ma'at as well, or rather someone else mentioned Ma'at. But this is like a Ma'at energy where it's coming to a balance, and being mindful of the mistakes you made in this lifetime and that lifetime. Confirmation of the rooster in the middle of the day, where as you also identify those mistakes, and that could be, say, lack of boundaries, overgiving, things like that, it actually does improve and clears out. All right, that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. I have the deadliest snake. You do. I'm someone that I will like, really? That's so cool. I used to have a pet scorpion, but that was many years ago. I had a friend that is actually really big on TikTok, but he lives near me, that he has like pink spiders, blue spiders, and he like really takes care of his like exotic animals, and he's known for it. Kind of like a Steve Irwin, and then did blow up on TikTok for it, but and maybe I should get a spider. I love hearing about all of your pets. Where I live, eastern brown snake. Cool. And it's Australia's deadliest snake. That's awesome. My spirit animal is also a snake. In shamanism, the snake always comes up for me too. Yeah, I have a connection definitely with snakes in this lifetime. I didn't always, like, I was not raised that way. My mother was disappointed in me. She was very disappointed in me. She was like, you got your first snake? She's fine. It's fine. You know, for me, I have, maybe I shouldn't even go deep into this, so we won't go on a tangent over here, but yeah, I definitely have a connection with snakes, like the Nagas. Snakes have never bit me. In dreams, snakes never bite me, ever. And I always found that interesting. You know, other people like they would, but that's Vasuki. You know, Vasuki, the snake, the Naga, it is very loyal. Vasuki works for Shiva. Vasuki doesn't like bite, you know. And so, yeah, my power animal and totem is the snake, the serpent. Ophiuchus, yes. Pisces sun, Venus Taurus, Rahu, and Sagittarius rising with Jupiter. Okay, and Neptune in first house. Awesome. Yeah, I've never been bitten by a snake. This actually happened recently, that the snake that I love, and like in my defense, he wasn't like really eating too much. Ball pythons don't eat as well in like the winter season. Even if you have the lamps on and things like that, they don't eat as well in certain seasons. And he was hungry, but like I could tell he was hungry, and Osiris is always so sweet with me. And this was recently, like a month ago. I went up to Osiris's face, because when it comes to my snake Osiris, that is, he is the spirit of Osiris, where like he'll come up to me and I can get away with that. But he was really hungry, and I could tell. And he was also approaching a shedding. So I'm trying to feed him before he sheds, because then it's even harder to feed them. I looked in the snake's eyes, and I could tell for the first time that he was hungry and wanted to bite me. But it's interesting, and for some reason I'm being led to share this. That's the root chakra of survival, right? That you would do things that you normally wouldn't do, right? If you're in survival mode. But I picked up on it right away, because me and him, that is my Osiris, my snake. Like, nobody touches my snake. That snake has been around for 5 years in every house I've ever been in. That snake's come with me. That snake has been with me in every apartment. I could tell though, like that he wanted to, and I could just feel it, because again, like I'm in tune with snakes. I could pick up on what they're feeling telepathically. And I told him, and I felt in my root chakra, and I felt myself not be in fear, because I could feel him hungry and looking at me though, in a way like, oh, don't look at me that way. And I telepathically told him of like, don't do it. Don't do it. But I tried to, again, like be one-to-one with the snake. And I've done this many times before, but my 5-year-old snake was hungry and was looking at me in a way like his head was even shaking, and that's what they're going to do before they strike. So I'm like, I know your behavior. And I told him telepathically, don't do it. Where I guess like I was testing the snake, and I shouldn't do that. A snake does what a snake does. But the snake was in the root chakra because he was hungry. And then I was in the root chakra of like, no, don't fucking bite me. And I told the snake telepathically, don't do it. You know who I am. And you know what the snake did? It went up to me. It opened its mouth like this, snapped it, and went into its like hut. Like it retracted away. I was like, oh. I had never experienced that before. You know, so like that was just really cool. You know, snakes, we're taught to fear them, but it's more of snakes can pick up on your fear. And so if you are in fear around a snake, it picks up on your fear. It's going to strike. So I really did have that maybe a month ago, and it was with a snake I've had for 5 years. So the snake does know me, but I said, no, you know who I am. Don't do that. And as I said that in my head telepathically, looking at it in its eye, it came up to me, opened its mouth to the point that I did back up. And then he closed his mouth. I'm like, oh my God. So maybe this resonates with someone. But it's also the story of like fear, you know, and it's the truth though of snakes, of serpents, like they were made by God, you know. I think everything that was made by God is made by God, whether it has, you know, porcupines and spines or not. A cactus was also made by God, you know. Well, we don't complain about the cactus. And so that was a real actual situation I had recently. It was very beautiful though. Like I actually found it very beautiful. And yeah, that's my story of my snake Osiris. Do you have snake stories? Something does here. Ophiuchus mythology is an awesome. Yes, I love Ophiuchus. If you definitely should. Yes, I do. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on releasing fear. All right. So we're going to do then Maria H., Mary Ann, and Jessica M. If, say for example, and I did look through all of the comments, if you did leave a question, feel free to reach out. I believe I know who Jessica M is, so I'm just going to reach out to them as well. Awesome. You sent the question too. Awesome. So yeah, so then we'll do, and I'll do Aventurine just because she has her specific question here. We're going to do Aventurine. I'll give it a second, and then we'll do Jessica M, Maria H, Mary Ann. I have to do Cancer too if I am here doing Pisces and Scorpio. So we'll do a quick 3-minute reading for Cancer. And then I will see you all tomorrow for more Pisces and some Mystery School Tarot. I love your name, Ra. Oh, it's your soul name, Ra Wana Ra. I love that. That's beautiful. I don't have snake stories, but have serpent wisdom. I love that. Yeah, I didn't start off of like just liking snakes. I was not allowed to have snakes. I was actually raised in a very strict household. Very strict. This is the product of what happens. But yeah, we'll do Aventurine over here. Okay, we're going to grab this deck over here. I grabbed different decks based on the questions. Yeah, okay, so for Abby, Aventurine, which Aventurine is the heart space. For Abby, Aventurine, what do we have for Abby, Aventurine, Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God? What do we have for Aventurine, Abby, on her marriage? What is advice that's coming in for her marriage? What is some advice? What is the outcome, rather, for Abby's marriage? You might need some distance. We do have fired up. Now, it does say go on vacation, run away together, free-spirited. Your marriage, so these are just the oracles, and then we'll do the 3 cards of the tarot. And I'm not someone that's a yes or no person, so I will say yes or no, and I'm still going to dive deep into the cards, where distance and realizations here. With distance, it may make the heart grow fonder. It seems like there either was, it could be past, present, or future. There's some emotions that are coming up in the marriage. Distance may make the heart grow fonder. What I'm also seeing is something that spices up the marriage, like a getaway, even if it's like somewhere in your state, but booking an Airbnb. You know, like that's what I'm seeing here. It says free-spirited, adventure, risk. Bring some adventure. So far, the advice is bring in some adventure into the marriage. There might be a realization, but I do see that there's emotions. We do have fired up over here. Getaway, and that's like a travel card. So what do we have for Abby Aventurine? What do we have for Abby Aventurine on the outcome of her marriage? What is the outcome of Aventurine's marriage? Why the 5 of coins here? A lot of cards, so we'll put these back. Why 5 of swords, page of swords, and the 5 of coins for Abby and the outcome of her marriage? Is there things about children here too? Is like kind of what I'm seeing. 8 of Cups, Page of Wands, the 6 of Coins over here. Why the 8 of Cups for the outcome of the marriage between Abby? You know, what I see is distance can help make the heart grow fonder. And by that, what this reading is actually saying is there's a lot of things going on in the connection. There's like some negative changes and difficulties. We have the Hermit card, which is spiritual enlightenment, going within. It's also solitude. Creating some healthy distance can bring realizations for you and for your partner. I see that there's a lot of emotions here, and it feels like one or both people may be struggling with money or have in the past, and that it brought certain things up maybe for the marriage. What do we have here for... I got a call. What do we have here for Abby? What's the final outcome of Abby's marriage? What's the final outcome? Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay? Where it's like all options, choices, you know, and it definitely feels like there's a lot going on maybe for both of you, even financially. If you create some sort of teamwork, you can spice things up, spark things up, and bring things kind of like back together. Maybe even a greater balance than before with the Empress card here. And there's a lot about travel. The Fool card can be travel as well. And so maybe a vacation. Maybe one of you goes on a vacation. There's definitely something here about spicing up the relationship. And it will definitely like salvage the relationship. There's a lot going on, but just take some sacred fire, you know, in some way, shape, or form to spice things up. And to just change things a little bit, you know, from the everyday, from the mundane, you know, the everyday routine. All right. I hope that that resonates, Abby. I think cats and snakes do share a lot of similarities. Yes, Jessica. Yes, and I knew it. I knew it was her. I love her. My question is, her current relationship. Yes, I do see it, Jessica. There's a lot of comments in here. I definitely could have missed it, but I see it. Yes. So we got it for the current relationship. Yes. All right. And it was exactly who I thought it was. I love that though too, where one day we had like a circle, a ceremony, and there was someone in the comments that I never saw their face. The second I stepped into that room, I knew it was that person's username, where I was just like, you are that username. And they were like, yes. You know, we really can feel it like on this end too, over here. Yeah, I think cats and snakes are very similar. They're very, you know, they're very careful, mysterious, you know, energy. I think both the snake and the cat, what makes them similar is they're both very attuned to the unseen world and realm. You know, they kind of both navigate in the dark, you can say. But cats get a little bit of a better rep than the snakes do. You got $1 billion playgirl. Do I? Are you talking to me? Western, Vedic. Both, where I honor both. You know, Vedic definitely is going to be more accurate, at least from what I've seen and from what I've studied, where both of them. I am a Gemini midheaven in Vedic and a Cancer midheaven in the Western astrology. Sorry, it's a song. Oh, I was just taking your statement, even if it was a song. I was just taking it. All right, let's do Jessica, and then we'll do Maria H. and Mary Ann. All right, for Jessica Matthews. For Jessica Matthews, Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light and God. What do we have for Jessica Matthews for her current romantic relationship? Ooh, Jessica, twin flames. What do we have for Jessica? You're the only one to get the twin flame card, Jessica. What do we have for Jessica Matthews for advice on her current romantic relationship? There's confusion right now in the relationship, so just be mindful, or like past, present, future. We do have emotions. It says unpredictable confusion. So that could be maybe the current energy, where it's like, what's going on? Kind of weird behavior. We do have party. It says having fun, clubbing, risky, fun with friends. So I would ask, are you or your partner kind of upset of someone kind of like being a little bit risky over here, or maybe a partner doing something that the other partner doesn't want them to do. It does say party, but it says risky, having fun, twin flames. It could also just be confusion. Say where someone feels like someone's doing something and maybe they're not. So let's see what this is over here. All right, for Jessica Matthews. For Jessica Matthews, for her romantic relationship, why do we have twin flames? Having fun, emotions, and confusion. For Jessica Matthews, why do we have twin flames? It says truth for twin flames. Why do we have twin flames, having fun, confusion, and emotions for Jessica Matthews? Why the Ace of Swords and the Strength card in reverse for Jessica Matthews and her romantic partnership? What is the outcome for the Ace of Swords and Strength card in reverse for Jessica Matthews and her romantic partnership? Somebody's projecting here. And it could be either way too, where you have the Strength card in reverse. Like say, for example, Jessica, like just say you are at a party having fun, but it's very innocent. You're just having fun. It is innocent. You're having fun for God. Like you're not looking at anybody around you. It's you and God, and you're dancing in the mirror for God, for no one else. It feels like and it doesn't have to be that, right? It could be vice versa. Something's coming up here of like someone who is a little like, it's kind of questioning the fun, but it works out. Now, it doesn't have to be twin flame, but we do have the twin flame card. Why do we have twin flame here for Jessica Matthews and her romantic partnership? Why do we have twin flame here for Jessica Matthews? It says dating. It says, so is someone wondering, someone's wondering if someone's keeping secrets. That's what this is saying. I can't show one of the cards just because of what's on the card, the picture. It says dating though, and like secret. Like someone is wondering, is there other people in the relationship? It could be you or them as well. It looks like it works out at the end of the reading. There's certain things that are coming up in the relationship. Why the Temperance card for Jessica Matthews on the outcome of her romantic partnership? I will say communication where it looks like it works out. There's definitely some things coming up. Could be anxieties, fears, like insecurities, just things like that. But it feels like reassurance, where there's just someone in the relationship that needs reassurance. And Temperance card, 7 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. Someone stands their ground. It says soulmates here. So, they're definitely some sort of connection. Soulmate, twin flame. And it does say peace and patience, rather. Where there's confusion in the relationship and somebody feels a particular way, which can be very valid. But it feels like, maybe there's something that's not true. There's something that could be like cleared out. And things really work out for you in this connection. So that is what I see. And what's the advice here for Jessica Matthews and her current romantic partnership? It's good energy. I almost wanted to say he has like dad energy, where we have the Ace of Wands, the Emperor here. This is like, it could be definitely a new beginning for you and him. This is someone who's protective and who can be reliable. There's definitely some shaky things here, But overall, there's so much potential in this connection, and it really can work out, is what I'm seeing here. All right, so that's what I have for you. I hope that it resonates, Jessica. It's exactly who I thought it was too, so awesome. I'm happy we got to do that. You're definitely a good reader, not sugarcoating. No, I try to like read even the things sometimes that I don't say want to read. Twin Flame 144, as I say that, where Twin Flame is like one card that I don't necessarily want to read Twin Flame readings. And the reason being is, as a tarot reader, the amount of people who are actually on the Twin Flame journey, then the amount of people who are like just chasing someone, unhealthy dynamics of Twin Flame, it hurts my heart as a tarot reader when I see someone book like a tarot reading that they've been waiting for their Twin Flame for 19 years and they haven't dated anyone and this and that. Like everyone's journey is their journey, but yeah, Twin Flame became very distorted, in tarot, and it got to the point where even I, as a tarot reader, I'm just like, no, this is not your Twin Flame. You need to, and you also like, everybody's journey is their journey, but the Twin Flame journey is never, yes, you are your own Twin Flame. 144, that's the whole point of the journey. And so if we're not looking at it in that point, where the Twin Flame journey is not love and light romance, and anyone who looks for that ends up just in karmic dynamics, so like as a tarot reader, those are readings that I will read it if it comes out. I try not to do it on purpose. Just because it was popular doesn't mean that like it's serving, yeah, and we can't control either how people take in readings. Like sometimes, and this is for every single tarot reader that exists, you'll see the comments of, stop talking about me. We don't know who anybody is. When we're reading cards, we don't know who anybody is. We're not reading for a particular person. It could be thousands of people, and I'm actually thankful that sometimes in the comments, someone will say, she's not reading for just you, or like, he's not reading for just you, where it's a very general timeless reading. And so just making sure on like every end, right, that we're like accountable for ourselves. Let's do Maria H and Marianne. We're going to do general timeless readings. My email is letsgohome7777@gmail.com. If for any reason, say it was a different username and I've asked, and feel free to email me. What do we have for Maria H today? And then we're going to stop the reading at Cassandra. The readings, rather, at Cassandra. And if anyone else sends, I will go live again, or feel free to email me for the recorded version. The unfortunate thing is on Cash App, I can't message you back on Cash App. My email, though, is public, so feel free to email me. All right, so we're going to get to Mary Ann. Cassandra, feel free to put your question in the comments below, and we're going to do Maria after that. Okay, so for Mary Ann, what do we have? Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God. For Mary Ann today, we have a mini reading here for Mary Ann. Mary Ann, I'm seeing cotton and laundry. And I just have to say it because whenever things are specific, it means maybe something. Don't say that, Makari. Don't make me put you in timeout on here, Makari. Don't say it. Makari's funny. Where I'm seeing cotton and laundry. And you know how like you put things in like so that things don't stick together and static? That could be very well of like, say you did your laundry recently or needing to do your laundry. There's also maybe something about like static, things not sticking together. That could also be symbolic. So for Mary Ann today, what do we have for Mary Ann? Oh, I love it. 1:44 p.m. Yes, Cass. What do we have for Mary Ann today What does Marianne need to hear the most? What is the general and timeless reading for Marianne? What does Marianne need to hear the most today? Interesting that I was talking about like separating things, because it's showing up in the reading now too. You have an astral connection with someone, Marianne, like a telepathic astral connection through time and space. We have distance, past life, and then tether, telepathy, intuition, dreams, and heart songs. Marianne, there's something from a past life. Oh, let's get the past life deck. For Marianne, for this general reading, why do we have distance, past life, telepathy, and dreams? Marianne, you have wisdom from a past life that it never left you. Trust and faith. And, you know, cotton balls do represent like wisdom, purity. It represents the head, cotton balls, like the head. And so the crown chakra can just resonate with you too. And purity. There is no time, space, and dimension, or time and space, Marianne, that can separate you from this wisdom. There's no distance. This wisdom comes from a past life. Now, Marianne, this could also present itself in telepathy and intuition. There is a spiritual gift, a soul gift that you have from a past life. So let's dive deeper into it. For Marianne today, what do we have for Marianne? What do we have for Marianne today for distance, past life, wisdom, and telepathy? For Marianne, why do we have past life, wisdom, telepathy, and distance? For Marianne, why the Chariot card and the Two of Cups for past life, wisdom, telepathy? This is your gift and your power, all right? Where what I'm also just seeing in my mind's eye is certain parts of these gifts, I don't like the way that was worded, but like certain gifts, you know, may have been showing up since a child. You would pick up on people, and I'm just saying like people, and you're just picking up on things, right? Like extrasensory perception. Why the Two of Cups here for Marianne for past life, wisdom, intuition, telepathy? Yeah, you pick up on things from the unseen, from other people. Your back is not turned to these people, but you're picking up on things. This is from a past life. And so you had a very spiritual past life. Why the Ace of Wands for Marianne for wisdom, past life? But what this is also saying is either it says regret or missed opportunity. This could also mean, though, Marianne, that you're sensitive to energy. So the material realm and world, in some way, shape, or form, may not be like your strength. Where in some ways in your life, it may have felt like a weakness. Your sensitivity, your strong gifts. In reality, it was always like your power, your gift here. All right, so what is the advice for Marianne for accepting these gifts? What is the advice? It feels like, and it has to do with your gifts and your wisdom, actually, where you maybe went through things with people and with money. Like you would know things that were going to happen. You would feel people's energy. Maybe you would call them out. Because of your sensitivity and your telepathy, maybe, you know, you wouldn't always want to go out in public. You wouldn't want to go around certain people, and it would bring up issues. Your vision here is your strength. And I do see you moving forward over here. It says calm waters, healing, progress, moving on. You know, so at one point, what you felt like was a weakness in life, it truly was your strength. And what I'm also seeing is maybe you've even done different things to try to like fix these things in your life. And just like what I saw in the beginning, you know, like static in the dryer when your clothes stick together, these are gifts that cannot be separate from you. The honk, as I say that, or there was a really big honk, they can't be separate from you, you know, and it may, you know, maybe it makes you appear more sensitive to other people, you know, maybe at the workplace, it's not as easy because you could pick up on everything while it seems like everyone else can't, you know, but you're so divinely designed, you're uniquely designed, and I want to say you're perfectly designed in this reading. You know, and that's what I see for you, Marianne. It's beautiful. Yeah, feel free to go to the website. Lance, you could also go to the website. So we do have flash 24-hour readings, which is new. I haven't done the 24-hour readings, and it's a little bit of a different way than I've usually had it on my website. It will have you book a 15-minute session, but we don't meet. It just ensures that you get it within 24 hours. So for anyone who's looking for a 24-hour full reading, they're $77 right now on the website. You could go to 144bluerosetemple.com, and you'll be able to book one of them. Okay, for Cassandra, fertility, relationships, and career. Let's do it. And then we'll do Maria H. I am doing a 2-minute reading for Cancer. Oh, Cancer. I'm so sorry to all the Cancers out there. I give a lot of love to Pisces and Scorpio. Oh, you Cancers deserve all of the love too. Okay, what do we have for Cassandra over here? Fertility, relationships, and career. All right, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God, for Cassandra today. This is a longer live, as it's been a very long time since I've been live. I had my son, I part-time homeschool my son at home. He's part-time like in school, but then we had spring break where we were just home. So, surprise, panic attack. No, let's put these cards back. Cassandra, what do we have for Cassandra? If it comes back out, then it's meant to be. But what do we have for Cassandra today for relationships? What do we have for Cassandra for relationships? You have a karmic new beginning in a relationship for you of what's coming in. And what's coming in for career for Cassandra? For career, Spirit is saying to be smart. Set some boundaries. It says fantasizing and daydreaming. Just making sure in career you're like crossing T's and dotting I's. So let's first get to the relationships. What do we have for Cassandra for relationships? For Cassandra, why do we have karma and try again for relationships? You may have walked away from a relationship is what this is showing. We have the 7 of Cups, 10 of Cups, the 8 of Cups. Why 7 of Cups for Cassandra and relationships here? Why the 10 of Cups for Cassandra with karma and try again for relationships? And why the 8 of Cups for karma and try again for relationships? It feels like in the past, it was like you get a new start in relationships, that it wasn't like, it's the kind of thing where it wasn't that person, it was the other person. Or like the next person. Why 10 of Cups and the 4 of Cups for Cassandra for relationships? What I see is in the past, you may have gone through, either you or someone else was going through a hard time and may have self-sabotaged like a relationship here, or like, yeah, may have self-sabotaged something here with someone. I'm seeing that from a past relationship, you had to have healing. Why the 8 of Cups, the Moon card, and the 2 of Pentacles for the outcome of relationships? You know, it's interesting. What Spirit is showing here is, again, this could be past, present, or future. I am seeing that a relationship hasn't worked out, and it actually leads you to focus on friendships, you know, where that might even be like a karmic balance. And again, this could be past, present, or future. So this could have happened already, you know, or in the future, or now. You go from, say, really focusing on romantic relationships to focusing on friendships and self. And it feels like that brings a newfounded balance where, say you're in a current relationship, or even say if you're not and you're coming into a new one in the future, it brings a new balance in general, where what I'm seeing is in the past, you know, like the relationship where you just kind of mesh. You know, that's like what I'm seeing here. No reason to be sorry, Makari. You're funny. No reason to be sorry. And that's what I'm seeing here. What's the advice for relationships for Cassandra? We have Aries, Leo, Sag, and it's interesting, we have new beginning, where it might be like karmic fate of a new beginning after, say, a long-term relationship. And again, it can be past, present, or future. So this could have already happened. And I see that you focus more on friendships and work. This, like, say, healed, higher vibrational version of you, this new version of you after the last relationship brings in something beautiful. You could see that someone is going on a boat over here with someone. Okay, and let's get over here to career for Cassandra. There's something along the lines of like being realistic in some way, shape, or form. Like crossing T's and dotting I's, just being mindful of certain things. For Cassandra, for money and career. No, not the devil card. For Cassandra, but it feels like it's the warning, you know, where like the devil card's coming in of like, hey, not too much in fantasy or like in the love and the light. For Cassandra, for career, why do we have poker face, fantasy? No. For Cassandra and career, why Six of Cups for poker face, fantasy, and no? Why Six of Cups and the Three of Pentacles? What is the outcome for career for Cassandra, for poker face, fantasy, and no? You can have independent wealth. And why the Nine of Pentacles for the outcome in career? Yes, I want to say yes, girl. Yes, yes. 10 of Pentacles here, yes. Where 9 of Pentacles, the World card, and then the 10 of Pentacles. The Devil card is like discipline. And so it's more saying, like, say you are building something and it shows that you're going to have independent success here, for sure. It's an outcome here for career. The Devil card can be, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it 2 days from now. But, you know, like say, you know, but like one more day won't hurt. Or if I have this fun, it won't hurt. Now, if you do also have children, there it says children and past getting influenced. And that could be like, say, routine, right? Like if you're establishing this independent wealth, it could be like, say you're manifesting something. Does the routine and the discipline in your house, you know, for yourself, does it match the intention, the goal? That's why the Devil card is here. Why the Devil card here for Cassandra, for poker face, fantasy, and no. I even said yeah. Where this card says no. Two of Swords here. There is something that you're cutting out completely, and that is what leads to your independent success and wealth. We have success twice here at the end for career. Why the Devil card and the Two of Swords for poker face, fantasy, and no. Setting boundaries with people. You know the kind of thing where, and it does say mother, you know, so I would ask you, you know, if you have a family, if you have children, or, you know, just maybe take care of the home. It doesn't have to necessarily be a mother. With the Seven of Swords here, sometimes being careful of the people around you, right? We're like, you know, you're manifesting success. If you're around someone who's extremely reckless, eventually they tip and knock something over, you know? It's like that kind of thing here. So Spirit's more saying of like, don't be in fantasy about certain things that maybe need to change in discipline, routine, the people around you. And I will say you have success here at the end of this reading. So what is the advice for Cassandra? Yeah, for career. You have beautiful things coming in. Page of Pentacles here. All right, so you do have beautiful things coming in for career. But Spirit's also saying of like, let's get serious. It does say poker face, where of like not playing around for a season, for a cycle. And it really does get you far, those boundaries, you know, with yourself and with other people. All right, and then we're going to do Maria H, and then we just have Cancer. We're going to do Cancer for 2 minutes. 2 minutes for a Cancer reading. Where do you all have Cancer in your birth chart? Put it in the comments below. I have no Cancer placements actually, but I'm a midheaven Cancer. in Western astrology, but no Cancer placements. All right. Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God. What do we have for Maria H? A card wanted to come out. What do we have for Maria H today? Oh, these cards are flying. What do we have for Maria H for meeting up and two-faced, not genuine? Maria H, you are done with someone here. Okay, where there's somebody you met up with, coffee date. This person's not genuine. It says mask, pretending, putting up a front, not genuine, seeing true colors, completely done. So Maria H, this reading, this general reading for you is saying that you've seen someone's true colors in your life and it feels like you're completely done. Thank you, Cassie, for being here. Thank you. What do we have for Maria H? Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light and God. For Maria H, why do we have meeting up, two-face, completely done? Whoa, you're done, Maria. Two swords. And the two swords, like this is the card of completely done. And what this is showing is somebody did something or made a decision that you had to set a boundary. What do we have for Maria H for meeting up, two-face, seeing true colors, completely done? Why Two of Swords for completely done? You end up with your back turned to this person. Maria H, what you need to know in this reading is you're going to be rewarded for turning your back to someone who did not, say, have respect for you or did something here. For Maria H, why the Two of Swords? Yeah, this was someone. The Lover's card. Someone's being cut out of your life. Why the Two of Cups for Maria H? Why Two of Cups and the Page of Pentacles for Maria H? And why the Three of Wands here for Maria H? What I see Maria H too, is there a different way of making money or a new job? That's also what I'm seeing here, Maria H, like a shift, a change in employment. Why the Death card here for Maria H? Seven of Swords. There was deception here. It feels like it could have been in your marriage or at the home with family. Okay, because we have the Ten of Cups here. All right, so Maria H, you end up completely removing yourself away from someone, from a family dynamic, from a partner. There's someone here that things are completely done and you will get a reward for your hard work. Why the Three of Wands here for Maria H? You're walking away from this person, Maria, where Three of Wands here, you do get a reward for your hard work as you walk away. It's like somebody gave you incentives here, and it's much more than whatever they're giving you is not equal to the energy you have to transmute here. Six of Swords, you end up moving forward to calmer waters. There's definitely cards here of moving or travel. So I would also ask, if you're moving or traveling away from someone. Now, what is the advice for Maria H for this reading? What is the advice? We have emotional intelligence, King of Cups, the Hangman. It says feeling trapped. And then the Emperor card. It feels like the advice here is in a connection or relationship, you feel trapped in some way, shape, or form, or someone is doing certain things that are making you feel trapped in a relationship. And Spirit's saying to protect yourself, to not be passive, where, especially if you are someone who's more of an empathic, maybe soft and passive person, this situation is asking you to set boundaries. Why the Emperor card? Yeah, where we have the Devil card here, the World card, the Devil card, the Nine of Cups. Maria H, this is someone who, again, they're giving you what maybe you think you need, or even what you need. There's things behind it. There's definitely things behind it over here, where this person may not be your wish fulfillment, It's like a wish fulfillment dressed, someone dressed as your wish fulfillment, but it's bringing you a lot of energy. All right. What's closing advice then for Maria H for this? Yeah, where in some way, shape, or form, this relationship is, there's a lot of energy on your back, a lot of energy you're transmuting. And I do see you being liberated from it and happy, joyful, successful. There's definitely something about distancing yourself from someone, from a relationship, or even travel and moving. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Maria. I hope that it resonates in a positive way. And we're going to get to Cancer today. No Cancer, but 4th house Pisces. My 4th house technically is Capricorn, but my 4th house lands in Aquarius in my chart. So 4th house Aquarius. I don't have any Capricorn in my chart, but my 4th house is technically Capricorn. All right. Home is where the heart is. Yes, it is. Eris. Yes, Cancer rules the 4th house, which is home, family, even like the ancestors, things like that. All right, so we will get in this 2-minute reading for Cancer because we always do Pisces and Scorpio. We never do Cancer. All right, what do we have for Cancer placements? Put it in the comments below where you have Cancer in your birth chart. What do we have? Divine Mother, Divine Father, Holy Spirit of Light, Holy Spirit of God for Cancer placements today. Ooh, somebody likes you, Cancer. Oh, twin flames. What do we have for Cancer? Dating, seeing someone. Dating site, secret admirer, timid, emotions. Somebody has emotions for you, Cancer, but they're not showing you those emotions. Oh, you're a Cancer moon, Makari. Yeah, I love Pisces. I have even a tattoo of Scorpio, not even Pisces, on my neck. What do we have for... What do we have for Cancer placements today? Why do we have dating, secret admirer, and emotions? Why dating, secret admirer, and emotions? For Cancer placements, why dating? Ooh, maybe this is why I don't read for Cancer often. Ooh, Cancer. You're making me blush, Cancer. Ooh, I'm wishing I had Cancer in my birth chart right now. Okay, Cancer placements, because I have none of them. 8 of Wands. You have a beautiful relationship. And this is a secret admirer. They're not showing it. They have a lot of emotions towards you. They will go all the way with you. Cancer, you have a power couple. 10 of Pentacles, the Hierophant over here. This could be, it could be just contracts, because Hierophant is also contracts. It is also, though, marriage. We're going to grab this deck. What do we have for Cancer placements for the 8 of Wands for dating and secret admirer? For Cancer placements, why the 8 of Wands for dating and secret admirer? Why the Sun card here for dating and secret admirer? Why the Hierophant and the 10 of Pentacles for dating and secret... I wish I was a Cancer. Who has Cancer placements over here? Where, oh my gosh, Cancer, you're about to receive the happiest, healthiest, richest love you've ever had. Okay, and it's coming in quick. We have the 8 of Wands. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Sun card. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Hierophant, the 10 of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles here. So Cancer, this could be just for you. If any of you are dating, it could be someone coming in. You're going to have the happiest, healthiest, richest, happiest love. Or again, this is the soul contract coming in for you. Just of your life, Cancer, which is so beautiful. I did say 2-minute reading. Well, that's a really good 2-minute reading. What do we have for Cancer placements? What is the advice for aligning with this Ten of Pentacles? Now, for some of you, keep working on your self-patience. We do have Eight of Pentacles. We have the King of Cups over here, so your energy, Cancer. Why Eight of Coins and King of Cups for advice? And you're walking into your truth. You know, why Eight of Cups here for Cancer? You may have walked away from Aries, Leo, Sag, Cancer, because we do have Queen of Wands here. You walk away from something, and it is a choice to walk away, but you come into your truth. Ace of Swords. And there's a big contract, or like say the contract, you know, is a marriage relationship. It's the best one of your life. Cancer, you're coming into good health, wealth, and joy, and love, which is beautiful. All right, so that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates. We got to everybody's readings today. Feel free to reach out if you would like a reading. We do have the flash 24-hour readings available on the website, and that's at 144bluerosetemple.com. Thank you so much for being here. That's why I don't play about my people I really love. Your Cancer moon so sensitive. Yes. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio in the house. Yeah, thank you all so much for being here. Feel free to go check out the website, the Patreon. We do have Master Key that's opened up. That starts in July. But I'm sending you all so much love, so many blessings to your day. We're going to be back tomorrow for Pisces readings. All right, bye for now.